Yeah, here we go. Thank you.
Artists always like me because I made that particular scene really hot. I had celebrity relationships, and I would use those to get the jobs because I needed that $2,500 a day to pay my $5,000 worth of bills.
And when the camera was turned off, it seemed her posturing for fame was not. And Kiss and Tell Corinne generated a new kind of heat in the press.
I don't know, Corinne, you have angered a lot of folks and a lot of folks' wives. I think a lot of people are uncomfortable, but the things that I left out are way bigger than the things that I put in.
But you keep running from stuff. Like, I wasn't even gonna get at you like that. You know what I mean? But you got problems, B. You can't keep running.
But this video vixen makes no apologies for outing her famous lovers. Some were husbands or fathers. She says it's her story to tell. And as for the men who paid for her life in the fast lane, she says she's kept their secrets long enough.
I just told the truth, and there's a good feeling knowing that you told the truth.
Please welcome Corinne Steffens to the show.
Personal note, my grandmother was like, she was a woman named Kim Soo-im, Kimsooim, 3 separate words. People can look it up. There's a semi-decent AP, Associated Press article about her from a few years ago. Long story short, she weaponized her sexuality to sort of wield some sort of power in pre- and post-World War II Korea and paid for that with her life.
You named a lot of names. Why don't you tell us some of the people that you name in the book?
Well, I just want to say, too,
yet again, back to our society's cultural biases and, distilling them through the questionnaire here. Her value is relative to the men's dicks who have been inside of her based on that question.
Yeah,
It's not a tell-all. I left a lot of things out for a lot of good reasons.
So it's a tell a lot.
It's a tell some. It's not even a lot.
Okay.
It's just a small part. There are the names that you all know. There's the Ja Rules and the Vin Diesels, the Shaquilles. I don't know, whoever.
And you're saying you had sex with all the men that you just named?
Yes.
So why did you write this book?
Well, initially when I started writing the book, it was for my own purpose. I had gone through a lot. Because the book isn't about sex, and it's not about hip-hop, and it's not about rappers. It's about my journey from being an abused child to being raped as a young child to being, going through spousal abuse, a young mother, and then getting into that, and then having to, almost dying with a drug overdose. And then once I began to heal myself, close to about 4 years ago, I really had to figure out what happened to me in order for me to heal. I had to admit it to myself, what I did.
But you had to know that naming the names and talking about the sexual exploits is what was going to put the book, at the top of New York's best-selling list.
I would like to yet
fucked
again
up question.
reiterate what I just said because Tyra Banks just said it directly to her as if it was just commonplace matter-of-fact knowledge.
Well, you had to know. It's like, well, maybe.
Common sense says that, that's why you have value, not your narrative of overcoming childhood trauma, drug addiction, and sexual abuse.
Yeah, mentioned. Yeah, it's interesting. It's important to point out that that's what she comes back to. Let's see what Corinne Steffens says.
I mean, it's number 5 on the best-selling list in New York Times right now.
Yeah, it is, and we're number 3 at the Washington Post, and we're also in the Wall Street Journal and all major markets. But honestly, that part was a surprise to me, and I didn't know that. All I knew was that I had to tell the stories that were relevant to my life, and everyone is named. And it's funny to me how everyone is so concerned about naming the celebrities, but no one is concerned about me naming the man that raped me when I was 13 and how his life is going to be now. You know what I mean? And so it just shows me that we're in a celebrity hypnotized society.